So happy month of June! Happy Gay Pride Month! I know this is gonna be like posted towards the tail end of this month, but whatever. It's still June. Still, at least it's June for me now. Hopefully it'll be June for you at the end of this month, but I'm excited for this project. So, sorry, my necklace hitting the mic. Anyway, so like last year, maybe like a couple years ago, I went to the thrift store and I found this. It's upside down for you. This beautiful, no, it's still upside down. This beautiful, beautiful rainbow and cloud dress. Like, woo, I love it. I saw it. I was like, I have to have this. I just needed this fabric in my life. And since it's June and it's rainbow and gay pride and everything, now's the time to use this fabric. So I'm excited. I love this fabric. I love this fabric. It's just so pretty. Anyway, so at the beginning of this year, when I knew I was going to do this dress, I was trying to figure out what pattern I wanted to use with this fabric. And I went through my whole pattern stash and like all, you can't even probably see them, but I have this whole row right here of patterns. And I went through my whole pattern stash and nothing really screamed at me with this pattern. And then it dawned on me in the middle of the night. I used to have a dress made out of fabric very, 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 very similar to this. My mommy made me a dress when I was little. I was like 3 or 4 years old. My mommy made me a dress that was a bunch of rainbow clouds. It was like blue printed fabric with a bunch of rainbow clouds. So I went through my scrapbooks to try to find it. So this is me. This is little baby me. And this is the dress my mommy made for me when I was a little baby. It's, like I said, blue with rainbow clouds on it. And it looks very, very similar to this fabric. I mean, it's not the exact same fabric, but it's close. It's close enough. I'm running with it. So I'm going to recreate my childhood dress that my mommy made. Well, kind of. I'm going to do an adult version because that dress is technically like an empire waist. It's like a piece right here and then like a big tent below and some some ruffle sleeves. And that's like it. I don't think that's gonna look good on my now adult body. So I'm gonna do like an adult version. You know, like how you mommy me's and there's like the kid version, then there's mommy, and they're like the same fabric but slightly different patterns. I'm going with that kind of idea. So here's my adult pattern. Not my adult pen. So here's my adult fabric, and here's the pattern I'm going with. It is Simplicity 9725. So, and you'll see it right up here. This is the pattern I have. I'm going to probably do like the purpley one, number 2, the purple one. But I'm going to do different sleeves. I'm going to do the sleeves like Moana or like my purple and black witchy dress. I should have worn Moana so I can show you guys the sleeves. I'm going to go with the sleeves like I had when I was little. I just recently did those on the last dress I did, Moana, so I have that fresh in my mind what that pattern looks like, what it feels like. So I'm just going to do this pattern, but I'm going to change out the sleeves. That way it still has like that empire seam, but then it's, you know, got another adult waist. And then it's got the ruffle out, beautiful skirt like my childhood one. And then it'll have my sleeves like my childhood one. So I'm excited. So it really is pretty much the adult version. Also, I finally got myself some friction pens. Well, actually, they're friction markers, but they were cheaper than buying the pens, and they came in a rainbow pack. So, finally got myself some friction pens. Just wanted to put that out there. And this fabric right here, this rainbow fabric is actually extremely. It's a bed sheet. It's 100% cotton bed sheet. It feels like a bed sheet from like the 90s or 80s because it's like, I want to say stiff, but it's not stiff. It's just that rigid, gross 80s, 90s bed sheet fabric, or like blinds, curtains, that's what I'm looking, curtain fabric. It's not very greatest feeling 100% cotton. But anyway, it's also really, really see-through. It is extremely see-through. So I am going to line this fabric, so the rainbows pop out more, the rainbows in the cloud pop out more. B, because like I said, the cotton's like, I want to say stiff or itchy. That's what we used to call it when I was little. When dresses were rigid, they were like, or nude, they were itchy. We would call them itchy. They were the itchy cotton. It's not really actually itchy, but it's like not comfortable. Anyway, so I'm gonna flatline it with this white striped fabric. I'm hoping the busyness of this fabric laying it on top of the stripes, you really won't see the stripes. I also know I'll never use this striped fabric, so it'll be great for lining. So hopefully this will merge beautifully together. I know, because stripes underneath rainbows seems a little weird to me, but it's gonna work. Okay. I already did a mock-up, so I'm gonna show you the mock-up because I already did a mock-up. And I'm gonna tell you the mock-up, before doing the mock-up, I laid the pattern up against my body and was like, hey, I know the little waist piece. I know the I know the little waist piece is going to need to be like an inch longer, so I added like a half an inch and a half an inch. I'll explain more when I get to the mock-up. But let me go try on the mock-up, and now I'm gonna leave that there. I was gonna pick it up, but I'm gonna leave it there. I'm just excited. Oh, there's a little string right there. I think that's my gathering string. Yep, that's the end of my gathering string. Okay, so this is the mock-up. This little section right here, when I placed the pattern up to my body, I was like, ooh, this is not going to end at my natural waist. It was going to end pretty high, like this high. So I ended up adding a half an inch to the top and then a half an inch to the bottom, for a couple different reasons. But anyway, I did that because the pattern pieces are kind of diagonal. I should have brought the pattern up with me. Hold on a second. Sorry. So this is the waist pattern piece. And as you can see, it literally goes from like line to line because I knew I needed seam allowance. That's how wide I wanted it. So I added half an inch and like half an inch, which is pretty much about seam allowance. 5/8, half an inch, whatever. What was I gonna say? Oh, and you can see that it goes kind of like slopes inwards and slopes inwards. That's why I didn't add a whole inch down here. I added like half an inch here and half an inch here. That's why I did that. And it kind of bit me in the butt. I should have done it in the middle, and I knew I should have done it in the middle. I thought about it when I was doing it because that's the proper way to do it, but I got lazy and did it on the mock-up. So I have a lot of fabric to take from the top, and it barely touches at the waist. So, I mean, it's enough that I could still put a zipper in. Like, it's enough that I could still put a zipper in, or I could take out the side seams and, like, give myself a little bit more. So, it's really no big deal. I will just do this properly next time, or I'll just do it properly next time, or if I add it to the bottom, just slope it out a little bit. But that's the only change I really had to do on the mock-up. And on that, it fits perfectly. I was going to use the mock-up as the lining for the fabric, for this rainbow fabric. But after putting it all together, I really like it. And I really want to make a dress with it. I want to do something else with it. So I'm going to keep this mock-up and make a dress with it. So also, I added 2 inches at the bottom. You can't really see that, but I added 2 inches to the bottom because I was afraid I wouldn't have enough. And I really didn't need to do that. I also, because I wanted a lot of swoosh, I first laid out the pattern on my rainbow fabric to see if I could widen the bottom of the skirt, and I could by like 6 to 8 inches. And so I did the same for the mock-up. So this is way more swoosh than the original pattern, than this pattern. So I just wanted to lay that all out. So I know I did a lot of preemptive work before filming this. I was a little excited, okay? And I didn't want to film yet. I just wanted to like go at it. So now I have to film. So I had to film today. So now that I can cut the nice fabric, because I didn't want to do that without you guys. Yay, I'm excited to get started on this fabric, this pattern. I'm excited to do this. I'm excited. I'm just so excited for this project. I'm just so excited to recreate my childhood, to have a pretty pesto rainbow dress. I'm just excited, okay? I'm just super excited. Okay, here is the 8-inch gap over there, add-on. Here's the 8-inch add-on right there. That is dang freaking close, but that's what we had to do to make it work. And then here's a little plug for future me. This one's probably a really bad example because I actually drew it twice because I wanted it lower. Is I set this down right as low as I could, drew out that line till we got to this line right here that is not technically where they say add or extend, but it is where the bottom ribbon could go. That's where they were saying the bottom trim could go. Then I drew that line, so if I pick this up, you can see I drew that line. And then I added an inch, which happened to be right where my other line was at, which was kind of coincidental that I wanted to move this all down exactly 1 inch, but whatever. And then added to the top. Same with down there. I don't know if you can see that. I had this down here, traced it out. The bottom trim is this line, 1 inch higher is this line, laid that on top, drew, is that a word? Drawled? Filled in the top, made the little draw lines for the top, and then you kind of like split the difference on both sides. Same with that one over there, you split the difference. Anyway, there you go. Future plug for myself and my feet squeaking across the floor. But future plug for myself in case I ever use this pattern again. Now I know how I did that.
Voiceover Raven time! So here are the steps that I did to sew this dress together. So first thing I did was iron a tiny hem on the sleeves, and now I'm sewing it. I did not use my rolled hem foot because that went awful with Moana, and I did not want to relive that tragedy again. So I ironed it and made that hem by hand and then sewed it on the machine. Now I am adding the gathering stitches to the sleeve, because you're gonna really need to gather those sleeves down. After doing the gathering stitches on the sleeve, you actually now get to add gathering stitches to the bodice. The bodice has 2 sections in the front that you add gathering stitches, not seams, gathering stitches to, and then 1 for each of the back panels, and they are to like replace the darts. It was a nice change of pace. Now I'm putting the seam in for the sleeves, and now I am changing over to putting the bodice top onto the waist. So as you can see, you gather those 2 spots and then you sew it to the waist. And yes, you sew it to the waist before you sew it to the side seams. Now I've switched over to the skirt and I am sewing up the side seams and the back seam. The back seam I left like a 6 to 8 inch gap at the top, so when I sew it to the bodice I can put a zipper in. Okay, now I am sewing the side seams together, so the side of the bodice together. Like I said, it's weird that you do the top of the bodice and then the waist and then the sides. It was a little different for me, but I enjoyed the change of pace. Now you can't really see very well, but I am doing the shoulder seam right there. You really can't tell. Now I've switched back over to the skirt and I'm putting gathering stitches in because I forgot. Oh well, at least you can go back and do that. And now the skirt is gathered up and I'm sewing it to the bodice. So, and I was being, once again, really nitpicky about how all these gathers lay.
So I have it pretty much all assembled. and I'm trying it on because I just want to make sure it fits everywhere. And it looks so cute. It looks so princessy, and it's so light and airy. It's gonna be a great summer dress. It's so light and airy, and I look like a princess. It's so cute. I think it's so pretty. Okay, but we do have a little bit of problems. I do need to make a few tweaks. First off being, I can tell that it's like bunching weird up here in the shoulder. I don't remember what the mock-up did that, but it is. So I think I need to take it in on the shoulders a little bit. So that is problem number one. But it's not like that big of a problem. Problem number two is I added the waist. Remember how I made it an inch longer? I don't like how big this is. So even though I added that inch, I think I'm going to take like a quarter or a half inch off the bottom. Trust me, we're going to do the bottom, not the top, because that is not going to be fun, because the top, you would have to like undo the whole thing. So I'm going to just do the bottom, which kind of sucks because it cut off the rainbow, but it is what it is. Also, I did not plan for this mini rainbows to be in the front, but I also did not plan it. I would have liked, okay, I'm not mad that there's rainbows. I actually enjoy that there's rainbows. It also works with the gay pride thing, but you know, the cute rainbow princessy sunflower, cute princessy rainbowness. But my childhood dress is more the clouds, and so I kind of, to match my childhood dress, wish I put these on the clouds, but I wasn't really thinking. I just put the pattern pieces down and was like, cut. They all fit. But if I really thought about it and really was trying to be a little more strategic and match my childhood dress more, I probably should have aimed for more clouds. But I'm not upset that there's more rainbows. So, you know, it is what it is. I have like a hair on my lip. Um, anyway, so I'm gonna go make those changes on the shoulders and the waist. And then I guess I might need to make the arm side a little bit bigger because it seems, yeah, it seems a little short, small, especially in the front. By the way, I'm wearing a chemise underneath. That's what you're seeing here. Anyway, it seems a little like cutty in the arm's eye, so I might take that out in a little bit, take that out and take that out a little bit, not in, take that out a little bit. Granted, I'm gonna put sleeves on, so that might help. Nah, I'm still gonna probably take it out a little bit and then put the sleeves on. And then I gotta do sleeves, zipper, and neckline. Yeah, no, this is a decent neckline. Sorry, I had to go check in the mirror. No, this is a decent neckline. I think I'm comfortable with this neckline, and it will have that seam allowance. So I think I'm fine with the neckline. Neckline's great. Okay. Anyway, then I gotta hem it. Right now it's just like kissing the ground. You can't see it, but I can see it. Right now the fabric is just kissing the ground, which is crazy because I've only added an inch here, and we're about to go take a quarter to a half an inch off. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool that this is the only spot I had to really do any modifications, and I'm kind of going to undo half of it. So nice. Okay, and also, it's a little tight here in the waist. Like it is enough to put a zipper in, but I would have liked to have a little more extra wiggle room. So maybe if I raise it half an inch, it will have that wiggle room. So, or a quarter inch. So yeah, I guess this is pretty much it. I don't know if I'll bring you back because I really just have to make some few minor adjustments and finish putting things together. So I don't know if I'll really bring you back to trying on the dress again. So we'll see.
Okay, back to the last few steps of sewing this dress together. Okay, right now I am putting those sleeves on. See how tightly gathered they are? You can't really tell, but they are tightly gathered. You can also tell the zippers in. I almost never film myself putting zippers in because zippers are a nightmare to put in. Okay, now you can see I am putting the front facing on the dress on the neckline. I don't know where the footage is of me making that front neckline facing, but I know I filmed it. I just can't find it. So just believe me, I made it, I sewed it, and now I'm attaching it because I have no idea where it went. Okay, so I tried the dress on after that, and the sleeves were all wonky, so I decided to top stitch them down like I did with my Moana dress. I did not iron this beforehand, so I kind of had to like keep pulling and separating the fabric because I was lazy and didn't want to iron. And that bit me in the butt because I didn't like the way these sleeves felt. It was itchy scratchy in the armpits, so I ended up having to undo that whole entire top stitching. And as you can see, I went with bias tape. I stuck some bias tape in the sleeve, so I'm doing it with the bias tape down right now because I figured that would be easier to sew right next to where that seam is where you attach the sleeve to the bodice. And then I'm going to fold that over and sew that bias tape to the bodice. I hand stitched that bias tape down and I hand sewed the neckline down.
So with my thoughts and feelings about this dress, I love this dress. It's so pretty. I feel like a princess, and it's so lightweight and airy, and it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Yeah. It's just a really pretty dress, and I feel pretty. I feel like a princess in it, and that's what a dress should do, right? I really am glad that you can't see like the stripes at all. At least I feel like you can't see the stripes at all. Maybe, what is that? Oh, that's pollen. Okay. I was like, oh my gosh, there's a stain right center front. No, that's pollen. That's from me dropping the flower. Okay. Um, I feel like you can't see the stripes at all. I would assume probably on like a really bright sunny day, maybe you could, but I think it's just the rainbows and the clouds are too distracting. And you probably won't even notice the stripes unless you're looking for them. So that's a win. Overall, I think the dress is a win. So I will definitely probably be using this pattern again. It's so comfy, and this dress is comfy, and it's so pretty, and I look like a princess. So I love it. I love it. I'm not even sure if I would make any changes about it. I mean, part of me wants to try the original sleeves that go with the pattern, but I also like having the short sleeves. I do kind of wish like the gathers up here on the front, I don't know if they're looking good now, but at one point they were like, this side was straight, one side was super straight, one side super curly, and super wavy, but the ruffle sleeves, what do you expect? One side's gonna be a little derp. Yeah. So I love this dress. I love it. I don't know if there's anything else I should say. Is there anything else I want to say about this dress? I have no idea. Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea what else to say. I did fix the sleeve pumps. The bias tape is way more comfortable than when I didn't have the bias tape because this fabric is just so itchy. Or I feel like it's itchy scratchy, but I didn't line the sleeves and there's just was so much ruffles poking my armpit with some like stiff fabric that the bias tape idea is amazing. It's holding out great. So definitely using that idea again. Yeah, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell notification and all that fun jazz. And I'll see you in my next video. which I don't know what it is going to be. I'm hoping it'll be Ariel, that maybe later on. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's summertime. I am not all here. So I hope you guys come back and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! You can hear the birds. The birds are like...
You what?
And the birds are like...
We are sunshine and rainbows.
I'm sunshine!